Of course we'll wait. Would you all be seated? We're in the grip of a paramilitary organization, and you all have to sit down immediately, or I can't be responsible for the consequences. My name is Alan Chapin. I'm the chairman of this foundation. I'd like to thank our staff, and particularly our new president, Charlie Cobb, who will be speaking to you later, for organizing this wonderful event. I know no one in New York is able to sit down before 7, but we have to do our best. Tonight, we are honored by the presence of Henry Kissinger, who will present our award, our first award, to Hank Greenberg. Hank has been a friend of mine for at least 40 years. Also, a holy terror in my life. He used to call me regularly every Saturday morning when I was in the shower and berate me for something I hadn't done. But he is one of the truly great men I have known in my life, and it is an honor for this foundation to be able to honor him. I think that Henry Kissinger needs no introduction to this group, but it is certainly wonderful to have such a distinguished presenter. I retire myself to honor Hank Greenberg.
Thank you very much. I'm here to say a few words about my friend Hank Greenberg, and also about the French-American Foundation. In fact, if I say only a few words, you can all say you were present at a historic occasion. Hank Greenberg is somebody I've known now for many decades. There's a Spanish proverb that says, traveler, there is no road. Roads are made by walking. Well, Hank has walked many roads. He is, of course, a great businessman, and he built AIG into one of the great companies. But above all, Hank is a man who has committed himself to a special kind of public service. He not only has been enormously charitable, as you know from his relationship his relationships in France, but he has been actively involved in so many activities, from hospitals to relationships with especially Asia, but a special feeling about France. A man who has been in our armed forces, has been supportive of so many activities that needed to be done. I was chairman of the advisory board of AIG. It's one of the least taxing jobs I've ever had, because Hank's recognition of the need for advice is not his most distinguished quality. But he is a remarkable man, and one of the people that are unique to this country, that give of their wealth to the public good, and that actively engage themselves in the issues which have attracted his attention. Now, it's particularly happy that France has been one of the subjects of his concerns, and that the French-American Foundation is honoring it. The relationship between France and the United States is complex. It is the oldest alliance. It is, we have stood together in 2 world wars, and of course in our war for independence. Communication is sometimes made complex by the tendency of Americans to have more solutions than their problems, and of the French attitude that recognizes there are more problems than there are solutions. We are rather pragmatic. The French are rather more conceptual. So when dialogue evolves in which the 2 sides do not fully agree, the American side feels somewhat disadvantaged in the face of the French propensity of making them feel their intellectual inadequacy. But with all of this, France, in all the difficulties over the decades, has stood for an assertion of its national identity. And it has been correct in insisting that it needed to understand and define its own direction in order to be a really good partner. And it has been, in essence, a really good partner. Now, this foundation was formed in a period when relations were both close and at times acrimonious. And of course, I was Secretary of State in that period. And the originator of the concept was Jim Lowenstein, who is on your board, and he was chairman of the board, and he has written a gripping account of how that was slipped past me in the State Department without my being fully aware of it. But all I'll claim is that I was aware of it. But he did the work, and he had the idea, and I want to thank him and to thank all of you for your contribution to a relationship that is central to the future of the Atlantic region and will also be crucial in the next years in the formation of a greater European Union and in the issues that have arisen as a result of the economic crisis in Europe, which I hope and believe will, as previous crises, lead to an even closer cooperation and an even greater significance for the Atlantic region. And so I'm very happy to be here, to be able to pay tribute to a distinguished businessman, a great patriot, a caring individual, and also to a relationship central to the future of freedom. And in this spirit, I'd like to give the Franklin Award to Hank Greenberg, if we can find it. Where is he? Oh, he's going to come up. Would have been a really eloquent speech.
Find his way.
Oh, where is he? Yeah.
It's right there.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's really lovely.
Well, thank you very much. I'm particularly grateful